Hi everyone, I'm Christy Forsyth with Clarity by Christy. I am a soul therapist and an intuitive that connects with the angelic energy, and I help the helpers, the healers, and the light bringers of this world to live their most magical life. This is my weekly reading, so this is where we tune into what's going on with the energy right now, what's going on with the energy throughout the rest of the week, and how to make the most of what's coming up in the energy. So I connect with the messages from the angels for what you need to know in order to make the most of this energy. And then we pull tarot cards. So we take a look at the tarot cards to build upon the messages for this week. This is an interesting energy. When I was tuning in with this, I heard, are you truly open to receive? Right? And that seems like such a silly thing because, like, of course I'm ready to receive the blessings that I want to receive. Of course I want for things to develop in the ways that I am manifesting them to, right? And of course, right? But then I was challenged a bit in that as I was connecting with the messages that myself and so many of us here in this energy are really standing in our own way in so many ways, whether it's subconsciously, whether it's consciously, blocking our blessings from wanting to come in, because I truly think that so much is wanting to flow to us right now, but we are blocking our blessings in so many ways. And I see Melissa in comments saying she's crying nonstop lately. Yeah, this is a really, we're in Cancer season, and I just find that during Cancer season, myself, lots of people tend to cry a lot during this time period. It can be really emotional, right? I think that we forget, though, with this energy, that there's also opportunities for it to be really, really nurturing, for us to be really nurturing to ourselves, for ourselves, for us to heal things within us, maybe inner child stuff. I think that there's a lot of opportunities for healing here in this. So yes, absolutely. It can feel very overwhelming. We will be stepping into Leo season, which should feel a bit later on July 22nd. So we don't have that much longer to go, but can we use it as an opportunity to work through the emotion, to let ourselves feel it, right? We don't want to live in the emotion all the time. We don't want to feel emotional day in and day out and just stay in that energy, but we do want to let it show us where there's room for healing, where we need to work on some things, or what's kind of left unresolved that we need to be dealing with, and also how can we take really good care of ourselves, right? Like leaning into the nurturing aspect of that. What is it that we're needing in order to help manage the emotion that we're feeling? Is the emotion simply a reflection of a need that we have, of something that we need to be giving to ourselves, something that we need to be changing? Absolutely. But it's definitely been a lot for people, and I'm just sending you all so much light. I definitely have felt all of this myself as well, and to be honest with you, always am like, oh, Cancer season, I know I'm going to be crying through the whole month because it's just a lot. But I also know that it clears out a lot, right? So that we can make space for all of the things that we tend to be more active with and get busy with as we step into Leo season. So I hope that we all find that our energy is increasing. And you know, it's funny because like part of the message when I was connecting with these messages, I heard that song from Annie, right? The sun will come out tomorrow, right? And for me, Leo energy is very connected to with the sun card in the tarot. And that's furthering that message of we're not going to be in this emotional energy for much longer. And I think that while we will be in intense energy, honestly, for the next couple of years, I think that there will be opportunities as we shift into Leo season for things to feel a bit lighter and for us to definitely feel less emotional. So hang in there, the sun will come out, right? Also in my tarot cards that I pulled, there's a whole lot of yellow, right? And I think that that's an opportunity for us to connect with happiness, connect with joy. So I think even here in this, you know, when we're feeling a lot of emotion, we can forget that being emotional can also mean connecting with positive emotions and choosing to do that now, finding ways to connect with our happiness, connect with our gratitude, connect with excitement about things that are to come. That, to me, that's one of the best ways to manifest the things that we want anyway, is to hold the energy, to hold the excitement of those things to come. But let's come back to this idea of, are you really open to receive? Because I think that this is an important question for us to be asking ourselves right now. If I were to receive the things that I am calling into my experience, would I be ready for it? And if the answer to that is no, because when I ask myself that question, I recognize that there are some ways that I'm not prepared for that. So if the answer is no, then can we begin to take steps in order to prepare ourselves for that? So I think that that's really, really key to take a look at. And then also, where do we need to get out of the way? Because I think so much is happening. We're alive during a really different, unique time. And as we work through this heaviness that we need to work through as the planet is ascending, we're going to have challenges, we're going to have difficulties, we're going to have things to work through as we're reflecting the energy of the planet as well. So we're all in this journey, and I think that so often we think that we understand what's best for us, we think that we understand what we want or what the vision is. And I think that this energy is giving us an opportunity to correct our vision a little bit, right? To maybe see things from a different perspective. I felt like especially that 7/7 portal really gave us that chance to take a look at things from another perspective and to see things from another perspective. I definitely found that a lot of people, myself included, were feeling and seeing things much more clearly, feeling that clarity. And can we honor that, right? So we're seeing things from a different perspective, and can we be open to things happening in a way that's different than the plan that we have? Your plan is not always going to be the best plan. My God, how many times have I had to learn this lesson myself, right? Where I think I know, where I think I understand, or I think I'm clear, and then I get hit with a curveball, right? And whenever these curveballs come in, we have to understand that that's helping to move us in the direction of the greater plan. And so it's so important, especially right now here this week, to not fight the energy, to not fight the flow. Can we choose throughout this entire week to just commit to, you know what, I'm going to just go with the flow this week. I'm not going to try to tell God, the universe, what I want or how this needs to be. I am simply going to say, these are my intentions, but I trust you to show me what's best for me. And then we have to actually trust. And that was where my angels totally called me out, right? Because I did that and I said that, and then I found myself checking on it again, right? So noticing where you are checking on it, where you're saying, I choose to trust you with this, but then you're checking, right? You're checking to see if it manifested. You're checking to see, checking on the past maybe in some way, checking on how something is developing, even though you know that it's not fully developed yet, or whatever that checking looks like for you. Maybe you're asking somebody for advice again and again and again, or you are needing to acknowledge your anxiety again and again and again. Every time that we put these things into words, we give them life, right? And I understand that we as human beings have a need to vent, have a need to express, especially during Cancer season, right? But can we be mindful of what we are feeding, what we are giving life to? And I feel like a lot of these checking behaviors, I'd be really curious what your checking behaviors are. Feel free to leave that in the comments. But what are your checking behaviors? It might simply be a checking behavior can be worrying about something, trying to set a thought aside and then allowing that worry to come back again and again and again. And redirecting your mind is no joke. It's definitely a lot of work. So when you first are attempting to redirect a worry, to redirect a thought, you're going to find that that's going to kind of creep in again and again and again. You're going to have to redirect that again and again and again. But I feel like this is a time for us to show our ego who's boss, for us to show that part of the brain that wants to keep us small, that wants to keep us stuck, that wants to keep us in this negative thought loop. It's time for us to show it who's boss. It's time for us to take control over it. And that comes in the form of redirection. That comes in the form of not giving in to this need to check if it's okay, to, continue to need to make sure. I'm having a hard time coming up with examples of the checking, but for me, that looked like just looking to see, okay, did it manifest yet? Right? And so you'll know what I mean, but I'm curious about what your examples are in terms of how you guys have found yourself checking or just like returning to this idea again and again and again. And I feel like there's a chance for us to take our brains back this week and to begin to create new patterns. And that's going to come in the form of true flow. True flow lets what wants to come in, right? And true flow, by the way, isn't just sitting on our asses and never doing what we need to do. True flow is letting it come to us, but sometimes what comes to us is inspiration, ideas, intuition, and awareness of actions that we need to take, right? So it doesn't mean that we're not taking action, but we're waiting for marching orders. We're waiting for divine inspiration in order to take action on things. And that never, when it's divine inspiration, it doesn't feel like fear. It doesn't feel like I'm worried about this, so I'm going to check on it, right? It feels like inspired. It feels good. It feels light, or at the very least, it feels neutral. It just feels like, okay, I don't know why, but this is something that I need to do. I would say intuition comes in the form, a sentence that describes our intuition oftentimes starts with, I don't know why, but, right? So if we are having those I don't know why buts, honoring those. I don't know why, but I felt like I needed to reach out. I don't know why, but I feel called to check on this thing. For me, it's so random to me, but this is how I know that this is intuition, right? For sure. I'm getting a really clear message again and again and again that I need to work on getting my passport set. So I don't know what that's about, but I've learned through this process that I need to just trust this, okay? That I need to just honor this, and God will take care of the rest. And I think that there's so many things on our to-do list that we get to hand over to God, that we let ourselves be in flow, because I think that there are a lot of things that are wanting to come in for us, but we're blocking our blessings by trying to control it, by trying to check on it, by worrying about it, by not trusting the process. And I know, I get it. Like, I can feel some of you, like, I've been trusting the process for so long, right? But have we really? How long have we truly stayed in flow? How long have we truly stayed in trust? Or do we keep stepping out of it to check and see if it's happening for us? And even if it's taken a long time, I truly believe in divine timing, right? And I think that divine timing and divine circumstances are absolutely being orchestrated for us. So can we choose to trust it? I have been saying that this energy is very spiritual based, that it's so important for us to lean into trust and faith. And this week is no different. Cancer energy, talk about the positive aspects of that. Cancer energy is so intuitive. It's so spiritual, right? It's so able to connect with this understanding that we have a higher power that is looking out for us, that wants to help us, that wants to support us. But again, we have to choose to lean into that. We have to choose to foster that spiritual aspect of ourselves, and not just, oh, I'm worried about this, so I'm going to pray. It's also, I'm thankful for this, God. Thank you for letting this happen for me today. It's those little moments where we recognize, oh my gosh, this is really great. Or, oh my gosh, you know what? Even though I want this, this, and this, isn't it really, really wonderful that I have this happening for me in my life? And isn't it really wonderful that I have so many of the things right now that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, ago I was praying to God for? And can we recognize those things while continuing to manifest even greater, but at the same time leaning into this vision that is unfolding for us? Because I just think that we can be pretty short-sighted in terms of what that vision even can be. I think that in that clarity that came through around that 7-7 portal, or in having our sight be adjusted in some way, I think that we're learning how to see the world through the energy of love a little bit more deeply. So in that adjustment, we are now anchoring in this clarity, but we have to stay in it. We have to stay in the flow. We have to stay in the faith. We have to stay in the trust, because I think that there's a lot of blessings, and I think that there are a lot of gifts and new beginnings here in this energy, because that's the other piece of what I'm feeling with this energy, is this need to be open to new. And when I say that, what I mean by that is new in whatever areas that's wanting to come in, right? It might be a new vision. It might be, I thought that my life, this thing was going in this direction for this long, for a long time. And now it's looking like it's going in a different direction. And can we trust that? Can we let ourselves be led? Can we let ourselves be open to new things that we're not even aware of, right? Sometimes we're not aware of things. There are things that are better for us, but we're not aware of them because we're so stuck in the old stuff. We're so stuck in the past. We're so stuck in the known, and we're creatures of habit as humans. So of course we are, right? We like comfort. We like those things that we know. We like those things that are comfortable, but can we lean into the adventure of the uncomfortable, of letting the new come in and seeing where that takes us, letting the new ideas come in, letting the new opportunities come in, letting new beginnings come in, even if we have no clue where this path is leading us. Let's take a look at the cards that we pulled, because they really support these messages. It's so powerful. So the first card that we have is from my angel deck, and this is the life lessons card. So it says, you can break free from recurring negative patterns by praying to know the lesson and blessing they contain. So we can pray to be shown the clarity. If we don't feel like we understand, like if we catch ourselves saying, why is this happening for me? Again, right? Like you're noticing the patterns. You might be seeing them. You might be seeing, okay, so this is definitely a theme that comes up again and again and again in my life. And I think that we are anchoring in this clarity this week. So can we ask to be shown? Why does this keep showing up for us, right? But when we ask for that, we will receive the answer. And I think that it's so important that we don't ignore it, right? Again, are you open to receive? Are you open to receive the answer? Because you might not like the answer, because it may require us to make some changes. It may require us to move differently, to do things differently, to make those changes. It's probably going to require us to call ourselves out in some way, right? And to take a look at hard truths sometimes. But this is how we break patterns. This is how we do things differently. And that stubbornness, that holding on too tightly to things can really prevent us from stepping into a new phase where we're learning new lessons, where things feel lighter, and it just doesn't have to be so hard. And I think that we are really overcomplicating things in this energy, myself included. Definitely. I'm definitely recognizing where I have done some of these things. So the next card that we have here is the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so the Page of Pentacles is about being open to something new, starting something new, planting a seed. The Page of Pentacles is about planting a seed. We see it showing up here in reverse. And by the way, this card, when I pulled it out of the deck, literally jumped out of the deck and turned around in reverse. Clear message. If you never plant the seed to begin with, you never get to see where it grows. So I think for some people, we're getting these messages of these changes that we need to make, these things that we need to do, and we're afraid. Right? We're afraid to be open to receive. We're afraid to allow for the things that our soul is calling for to actually happen, because that means that changes are coming, or that we have to plant the seed, or that we have to do something. And that can feel Really, really scary. Interesting. I put this card down in the upright. So I think that some of us this week will choose to plant the seed, or we'll at least get in that pre-contemplation change where we're thinking about, okay, maybe soon I'm going to be ready to plant this seed. If you don't plant the seed, you never get to see where it grows. You never get to see where it goes. So important. Page of Swords, 2 pages right next to each other. Fresh new energy. Be open to the new. Open your heart. Open your mind. Right? Page of Swords is about opening our minds, being open to new ideas, being inspired to new ideas. And again, I feel like I need to say, maybe it looks different than what you thought it was going to be. But isn't that okay? Can we be open anyway? Because this is all about leading us on our best life path, on our best journey. And any ideas that are coming through in this Page of Swords energy are divinely guided, divinely inspired. And so can we listen to that? Can we honor that? And can we minimize the noise that is coming through in our ego? Because what will happen is we'll get this beautiful inspiration, these amazing ideas, right? And the ego will step in and go, well, how the hell are you going to do that? Or what about this? And what about this? And it will shut us down so quickly, right? Pay attention to the first thought. Be willing to plant the seed. Be willing to follow through with the idea. Be open to the possibilities. And try your best to redirect that ego that's trying to shut you down, that's trying to keep you stuck, because the ego doesn't want you to achieve your full potential. It's a survival mechanism of the ego, right? But the soul does. The soul came here to achieve its highest potential. Listen to the soul. The soul will definitely be speaking to you this week, okay? Let's see. I see some messages coming through. Yeah, Lily says she can feel herself healing and leveling up. Absolutely. We are leveling up, 100%. That's what this is about, right? Speaking of that strength, right? We're finding our strength. And that's maybe why I felt the need to read that comment right there. We're finding our strength. We're tuning into that strength within us. And we are, by the way, strong enough to handle this. We've got this. There is not a soul on this earth that didn't come here with a plan, with a team of support, of angels, of guides, of a higher power, right? You're not in this alone, but you also are way the hell stronger than you think that you are. So tuning into that, asking for strength, right? You can pray for strength. I think that's a beautiful thing to ask for. Help me to be strong as I push through my fear, as I plant the seed, as I follow this inspiration. Help me to be strong in doing that, because I know on a deep soul level that this is what I'm being led to do. You'll never regret it. I think that we're making commitments to ourselves this week, 4 of Wands. Or we're taking something to that next level. We're saying, you know what? Maybe I will take a step in that direction. Maybe I will make this commitment to myself. Maybe I will make this commitment to another person. Maybe I will sign this contract. Maybe I will start this thing that is beginning the foundation of something for my future. But the 4 of Wands is all about a celebration, right? It's something worth celebrating. We're creating things right now that are going to be worth celebrating, that already are worth celebrating. So can we also hold the gratitude, hold the celebration for the things that have already come? And can we celebrate these intuitive messages that are coming through, even if they scare the hell out of us, right? Because we know that we're being led, that we're being supported, and that there are better things for us as we continue to follow this path. Can we, 9 of Wands in reverse, let our defenses come down? You know, we don't have to always protect ourselves. We don't have to always wait for the other shoe to drop. We don't have to always guard our hearts so strongly. And we don't have to continue to subscribe to a story that it has to be hard. It gets to be easier. That's been a big thing that I have been repeating to myself again and again and again this past month. I choose ease. I choose for it to be easier. It gets to be easier because it truly does. And you know what? I've been incorporating that, and it truly is getting easier and easier because that's my intention, right? God wants it to be easier for us. But we have to tune in, we have to listen, we have to stop fighting against the energy, fighting against the messages that are coming through, fighting against the changes that are wanting to happen, fighting against, even just not being prepared for the very things that we are intentionally manifesting. If you're not prepared for the things that you're intentionally manifesting, what do you need to do to get there, right? What do you need? And that's exactly what this 5 of Wands in reverse is about. How can you get yourself prepared, right? So for example, if you're working on having a significant amount of success with something, are you prepared for the success? Have you done the work that you need to do to prepare yourself for that? Have you done the shadow work that's going to be required in order for you to handle the level of attention, the level of commentary, the level of negativity that will come with insane levels of success? And if the answer to that is no, how can you get yourself there? How can you prepare that? Because sometimes when things move slowly, it's because you're not ready. You haven't done the preparation. And if you don't know what you need to do to prepare, this is where you ask God. This is where you ask for that. Ask to be shown. I promise you, you will get the answers. Tune in. This beautiful, intuitive, nurturing energy is going to show you the way. And you just have to ask. So I hope that these messages resonate with you. I can see from so many of your comments that they do, but I always love to hear from you in comments. If you haven't already commented, please like this video. If you're watching this on my YouTube channel, please subscribe. It helps to support the channel. Share this, with somebody who needs to hear it today, because these are really important messages this week. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you soon with another video. I'm sending you all love and light.